We're living in a prophetic time. And when I say prophetic, I mean a lot of us find ourselves turning back to the Old Testament prophets because they spoke not so much to individuals, but to a whole people, a whole nation, about what God really wants. And in the men's Bible study, we are reading the prophet Amos. And Amos says at one point to the people of Israel, "Seek good and not evil, that you may live. So the Lord, the God of hosts, will be with you. Hate evil, love good, and establish justice in the gate." In those ancient times, the city gates were kind of like a town square, where somebody who was seeking justice, seeking fair treatment, a fair hearing, would come to that area, to the city gate, and there were elders of the community who were there to listen and render a judgment. Speaking through Amos, God is warning, people coming for justice are not getting it, not receiving it. And it tends to be the people who are the most disadvantaged who are getting justice the least. That's Amos in that time. I wonder if that isn't a word for us. Not to say this is the position we each have to take, but to say, are we listening? Because that's a lot of what justice is. Are we giving a full hearing to those we disagree with, to people who are bringing up things that trouble us? Are they receiving justice from us in the way that we listen, in the way that we pay attention, in the way that we don't just try to get on with our own lives and not see what's happening over here where somebody is calling out for justice? And there is another prophet who I will leave you with, who speaks to this is how we can see what it is God is calling us to do. This is Abraham Joshua Heschel, 20th century rabbi, who is a very prophetic voice. And he's talking about idols, idol worship, not a problem most of us would think we have, but he says, is the God you think you're worshiping really an idol? And he says, here's how you tell. What is an idol? Any God who is mine, but not yours. Any God concerned with me, but not with you, is an idol. God is listening. God loves, and we know this, all people equally, but the people who are crying out for justice, the prophets tell us God is particularly concerned they get a hearing, that we listen, that we pay attention, that we examine ourselves to see if we might in some way be responsible. Heschel also says, few are guilty. Few are guilty. All are responsible. So knowing that, what God calls for, and that we are held responsible for the place we live and the people in it, let's pay attention to the voices.